It's our fucking favourite time of the month. We've got a new chapter, we've got a PowerPoint, and we've got to review it. This PowerPoint is fucking long. I'll just skim through it right now, start it load. Obviously, I didn't finish the PowerPoint because I only have one fucking job, but I didn't fucking finish it. So some of the PowerPoints are just images and titles. We got a new follower. I'll see who it is on my phone here because I don't want to exit out of my PowerPoint. Full screening we got going on here. So I will see it in a second on my phone, and I'll thank whoever the fuck is following, unless they're a bot that's going to advertise something in chat right now. But welcome the YouTube audience. We are live right now on Twitch. You should come here and be the thing. It's Pharmacies, alright? He's been in chat for a little while here. You got the beautiful fuck off from Revy as he came in, so there we go. The chat should be on the right side of the screen. We should be all good. All preparations have been laid down. Minty is not here yet. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. But we're here to review this chapter. I thought it was a pretty fucking great chapter. We'll get into my overall thoughts because that's the first slide. But what did I write down as a title? I'm sure it's something fucking clever. The Alliance interestingly fails. Attack on Titan chapter 128 review by your friend Kyle Entertainment. So let's get into everything here. The chapter is called Trader, which references people call Armin and Connie traders, Samuel and Daz, who we'll get into as we progress through the PowerPoint. Call Armin and Connie traders, and obviously the actual trader in the chapter is supposed to be Floch, since he's the main named character that is chosen to side with Eren. You could even say Eren is the trader. Obviously the title has multiple different meanings. But yeah, clever little title there. We'll see if it changes when the official release comes out. It probably will. But here we just got the squad in. It's a cool little title page here. So overall thoughts on Attack on Titan chapter 128. The most fun I've had at a reading through a chapter since chapter 119, which is the one where Gabby shoots Eren. What a chapter that was. Still one of the best chapters ever. Probably the second best after 122. However, on rereads, this chapter isn't as good as some others. I'd say the second time going through it wasn't as exciting because most of the excitement or interest from this chapter is like reading through it the first time and seeing what happens in this little action set piece they got going on, more than, say, 122 or 121 or 120, where you go back and you read them and you actually digest what's being said and everything that's going on. It's more of an action chapter, though I still thought it was pretty fucking spectacular. It is... I don't know, I think I do like it more than last month's and 126. I think I said I liked 126 more than 127. But 128 stands out, maybe is the best since 122? Maybe, I don't know. Don't quote me on fucking chapter rankings. Chat seems to be stable. We shot up to fucking 10 viewers since we started recording for YouTube. So the YouTube audience is attracting viewers here. I'll try and get this off my screen. My screen is touchscreen, so it is fucking up a little bit. Fuck, now I gotta click there. Alright, get me out of here. If you're here in chat, in Twitch chat, tell me who's here. I want to know who's here. Is Miller here? Is Minty here?
Snake cannot
Hold on, what the fuck
dragon.
is this? This is a different emote that I'm not listening to. Just subscribe to Pharmacies, the first ever Twitch subscription. Fucking oath. Pharmacies is here. Look at him. Head and shoulders above the rest of Twitch chat here. I wish Minty was here to get mad at it. But thank you very much, Pharmacies. I don't even know if I'm saying that name right. Sounds cool as Pharmacies. But there we go. Now he's spamming the fucking emote. He's got the number 1 next to his name. Whoosh already gives me $5, so he doesn't have to subscribe. He's a patron. But there you fucking go. Off with that. It's some good times. Way to start the thing. VIP of the chapter goes to Kiyomi and Connie, beating the shit out of Yeagerists. It's always fun. We will get to Kiyomi in a second, because fuck yes. Obviously the emote says Gabby did nothing wrong. You can't really see it in chat here, but the little square emotes that you see say Gabby did nothing wrong. I wish that was still a meme, but it sort of died. Gabby has been remarkably quiet the last 2 chapters, and I said this on stream before we started recording, but it's probably because the next 5 chapters are probably going to be all about her, and Isam wanted to give us some levity between massive amounts of Gabby content that are going to be like bookending this attack. But Minty is here, and I think he just maybe... Did he miss or did he see that we have our very first subscriber? Get the fuck out of here, Minty. Minty, you missed 2 panels, alright? You're fine. Why would you start stream so early? This is fucking later than usual, though Australian Daylight Savings Time did just change. But I think my state, doxing myself, was the last one to get rid of it. So maybe there's a 2-hour difference between me and Minty now. So this is the overall thing. I'm not going to go over it just because Minty showed up, but here we go. Great chapter. VIP goes to Kiyomi and Connie for beating the fuck out of Yeagerists. Very interesting cliffhanger ending with multiple inclinations thematically for the future. We'll talk about that as we get to the end, because I'm very intrigued how Connie goes from here, especially. Armin's always had a bit of a devious side. Connie's always been the heart on the sleeve sort of character, so him having to kill people he loves is pretty dark shit. We'll see. Can Piet get out of her Titan and get back and use the same one? Yeah, we've seen this before. Even Ymir did this, where she like pokes her head out of the Titan and goes back in. So yes, that has been established. Are you happy there was no Eren POV? Oh, I was ecstatic on Twitter. I did a big thing where it was like, thank you, Isayama, for not having any Eren, because that makes our fucking video that's coming out still relevant, even though I didn't get it out before the chapter came out. And it is a very predictive video for the future. So thank God we didn't get any Eren perspective, just so my video works now. But let's get into the nitty-gritty details. I've gone pretty in detail for this PowerPoint. There's like fucking 20 slides. So Magath and Hanji have taken charge. This is what the chapter opens on. Hanji and Magath are looking out and see they got some sort of fucking magnifying glass. What do you call them? Binoculars, but it's like a little one thing. Pirates have these fucking things. I don't know, some old technology name for it. And they're looking out at the fortress and how many Yeagerists around it and the steam. Because Eren has made it to the ocean. I know there was some speculation last month about whether or not he had or hadn't made it to the ocean yet, if they were in front of him or he was in front of them. And it turns out he's way fucking in front of them, but we'll talk about that later because I have a whole panel about it. I think that's Floch. Yes. What is Hanji saying here? Would pulverize airships immediately. We need airships, is what we've known. Chat has exploded since Minty showed up. I thought Jean would make more sense having to do what Connie did. Fuck Jean, he sucks. Get Connie in the forefront. Got another month. That discourse, the discourse on this chapter is ... This is something, who said that earlier in chat, that there are Yeagerists very mad. I haven't seen this at all yet, so I'm very interested to see what the comment sections are like. Usually it's overwhelmingly positive, and then there's a bunch of very, like even JoJo's in here, liking the chapter a lot, so I don't know. Yeagerists pretending they care about Dazzler. Yes. A telescope. What the fuck ever. What's it called? Binoculars is what I was looking for. Jack Two-Base says something. I don't know what he's trying to say there. To be honest, the way the rumbling is going is one of the most surprising things Isayama is doing. Yes, the fact that rumbling has happened and is happening right now isn't just happening in the background and it's gone further than we all thought. Lol, what's your problem with Jean? We've been over this a million times, right? Jean's fine. I just don't really like him. I don't really like his character archetype and the type of character he is. Just go to the subreddit or Discord. They are there. Yes, Jack. I think Jack was the one earlier saying it. We can go into our problems with Jean another day, but I'm very thankful that Connie was one of the first ones there. No, because Floch thinks Connie's dead. So Floch thinks John's dead, right? That the Cart Titan killed him. That's what Armin says. So he couldn't have gone with Armin initially there. So that was a fucking weird point. Pharmacy says the biggest complaint I've seen is that it's short, but I really liked it and probably the first half of an anime episode. Is the chapter shorter than usual? I don't know. It probably feels shorter because there's a lot of action and there's a lot of action pages. Yeagerists are so bad at analyzing narrative, pretending that Daz... JoJo has been on his very anti-Yeagerist thing this whole stream, which is very interesting. Pretending Daz and Samuel are some tragic characters who are just defending their right to live. Incorrect, they chose to be terrorists. They shot first. Fuck them. There are non-characters who survived through sacrifice and a new free world will be built. I've seen a lot of complaints. Kiyomi shouldn't do this. Oh, I can't. Please. I want to see some Kiyomi complaints because that is fucking the moment of the chapter right there. Connie was unjustified in shooting the innocent unarmed person. Armin was a pussy. Well, Armin is a pussy, but that's besides the point. He wasn't in this chapter, but he usually is. Yes, those are contradictory critiques, whatever. I'm trying to catch up to chat here. That moment Armin reaches Eren will be amazing. That is the same part probably with the audio the exposition showed. I don't care about Armin. Oh, I saw a comment in Andrew's live stream after Kiyomi beat the fuck out of Floch. Yes, Queen. Get the bad white man. Yes. I don't know what to say that. Yes, of course. I'm telling you, hiding the power level goes two ways, apparently, with these Yeagerists. But here we go. What did I say here? People were speculating that maybe Hanji would die here soon. And either Jean or Armin would take charge of the operation, but there seems to be no tease of this in the chapter. Maybe Hanji will survive the whole thing. There was no death teasers with Hanji at all this chapter, which was interesting. Maybe she'll still die here. I don't really think so, though. Armin was never groomed to be the leader of the Scouts. I don't know why. He's like the ideas man is how he was supposed to like live up to Erwin's legacy, because him and Erwin have plans. And Hanji is not very planned. She's much more of a leader. She was basically like the last remnants of the Scouts after Shinganshina, and Levi's not really a leader, so that's why she was chosen. Like, Hanji is a better leader than Jean or Armin, but Jean is far more likely for me to be a Scout leader, if that even exists after the conflict and Hanji does die or something. But I see a lot of people saying that Armin should be the leader or something. I don't think that's ever really been teased. I think what they meant by him living up to Erwin's expectations were like, he has to be the ideas man, which he comes through in this chapter with another shitty idea that nearly gets people killed. So they seem to be getting on well, and their relationship for the future relations will be extremely important. Talking about Magath and Hanji here, they seem to respect and work well with each other, so that's nice. We're going fast through these panels because I have a bunch of them. Then we cut back to everyone talking. Gabby and Falco are like backing the fuck up. There was never even any indication of Falco maybe fighting here. I don't know why they didn't just set up Gabby with the sniper. I guess don't have her kill people because that's bad. Especially when they weren't planning on killing anyone anyway. I guess maybe Pieck was going to be with them and was going to charge in if they did get the plane and then chase over. I don't know what the plan was originally there. But Annie's talking about how she can take him out really easily here. Annie is ruthless and wants to just kill the Yeagerists. She's our girl, what can we say? The 104th don't want to kill them since they train with them. And more importantly, as we will see with Connie and Armin later in the chapter, they still have this happy, idealistic, growing old together goal in mind. A very important parallel that's made at the very end of the chapter is to Bertolt when he made his speech at the end of season 2, where he says, like, somebody find us, do you think anyone wants to kill people or whatever? And he makes this big speech about we basically had no choice, that they sort of ignored. They didn't ignore at the time, but like they didn't really understand. And then in Shinganshina, when they killed Bertolt, they still didn't really understand, but they understand now what Bertolt meant in his speech and probably have more sympathy for him now. And basically it's them reflecting now they have to kill people who don't understand, but they can't wait around and try and convince people to understand. They just have to go for the greater good because they have to save the world, which is what Bertolt originally thought he was doing. And there was a thing that Connie says back at that scene where he says, remember when we used to dream about growing old and being drinking buddies until we like die or something? And Bertolt's response is that no, it wasn't a lie, and like we really did like pretending to be soldiers or whatever. So it comes back like I assume Connie and Bertolt and that they shared that dream with Daz and Samuel, but obviously they can't grow old together now because Connie has to fucking kill them. So that was a really neat little parallel they have at the end. I'm glad I talked about it now because I don't think I made a whole fucking thing. Fucking Minty is going fucking nuts in here. Let me catch up. God damn. Gotta scroll the fuck up. Jesus Christ, how many fucking comments did we make in this chat? We talked about Andrew's live stream after Kiyomi beat the fuck out of Floch. Oh my god, yes. In Andrew also streams, there are so many Yeagerists. Can we bring them over here? How do we attract these people? Basically, the biggest thing is that it's hypocritical for the Cuck Avengers to talk about peace and no violence but end up killing people in this chapter. Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the chapter, and that's the interesting implications that we're going to make at the end of this, since they do have to kill people. And what implications that will have in the future. Sergeant Gross is so annoying. I'm sure he's watching this right after it comes out, so I'm sure he's happy he got mentioned, but I don't know what Jack's problem with him is. He is a pretty big Yeagerist. Gross was in Andrew's stream, unless there's multiple Gross cosplayers. There might be, who knows. Lol, Jack. I wrote that before seeing you talk about him. Hanji's intelligence was always more science-based. Yeah, she was like the mad scientist girl. That was why we liked her originally. But she has more experience than anyone, even Levi, so she became commander. Lol, he was so annoying, and also seems the Andrew Discord is now pro-Jaeger, so well, Didn't Andrew go like insane and delete his channel or something? And then I've seen him post a bunch of things about like the Annie eating scene or something, and he's like one of the rushed boys who says everything is rushed. I don't know. He was nice to us, alright? God, the Paradisian Avengers killed people in the Uprising arc in order to fulfill their goals, and no one was complaining. They are so hypocritical, man. It's so weird. JoJo is like switch sides or something. I don't know. Andrew is odd. He used to be pro Yeagerist, but now he is. He used to not be pro Yeagerist, but now he is. Who's Andrew? Jojo says, Attack on Titan YouTuber. I know, right, Jojo? Minty says, see, even they're getting along. That whole scene where Armin was shooting that girl, yeah, well, that was a whole thing, and Armin had to puke up shit. And Armin's always had like that weird, devious side to him, though, of like, I'll threaten to torture people and shit just to trick you into doing what I want, which he does with Bertolt in that scene we were talking about before. And I was like, she must have been a better person than me. Yeah, Armin makes that equivalency. Nobody complained about there, but now they're crying about poor Daz and Samuel. Yeah, like they gave a fuck. I was sure Daz like got eaten by a titan. I remember seeing that in like an anime episode, but apparently he didn't. And Samuel, I just forgot about after he got shot in the fucking leg. Armin controlled by Bertolt, fuck confirmed. That's not what that panel is about. That's actually Connie remembering Bertolt, not Armin, I'm pretty sure. That's how I read it anyway. They're very hypocritical and project so much onto the story. It's not even fun anymore since you can't reason with them. Well, our whole video coming out soon is just about that. I think Armin is kind of going through Bert's journey though. Yeah, he's learning to like that's Armin's character arc began in this arc doing that. When we first see him in Mali, he like comes out of the Colossal Titan and looks down at all the people and says, Bertolt, was this your view of things? So it applies to both of them, like the little Bertolt panel there. Like they're both thinking about him in that moment. When he destroyed the fleet in Liberia... Oh, well, Minty exactly says it here. Fleet in Liberia, he understood Bertolt destroying the walls and killing civilians, and now he understands... Yeah, all of these people killed civilians in fucking Liberia, so what the fuck? And now he understands Bertolt killing his friends, or at least soldiers. That's crazy. Minty, what's the YouTuber Andrew's name on YouTube so I can watch the reaction lol? I think he said he deleted it on Twitter. It's Andrew Allstar is his name. Change the title to Eren did nothing wrong and you'll attract everyone. I forgot I have to change the title because we have finished the fucking... Oh, OBS. Looky here. We did that would be the wrong thing to delete. Berserk is coming back on April the 24th. Spread the fucking good news. We get to do a Berserk chapter review, hopefully in PowerPoint format, because I'm probably not going to risk it, though I might be able to just show the fucking chapter for that, because it's not Attack on Titan. But, we will see. Did the title change? Yes, it did. How many viewers we got? We're sticking on 10 right now. I know he deleted his channel when he had a fit and made a new one. We already went over that. He declares he deletes his reaction after streaming. He shows the whole fucking thing. I know why we got singled out and our channel got fucking deleted, but I did watch his reaction. It was kind of cringe, Minty says. He uploads it to an archive website, but it's like a week later. When Armin got shot, he was like, it means nothing because there's no tension because Armin obviously isn't going to die from this, which is, I guess, true. Like, no shit, did you forget he's a Titan? Armin being shot isn't, oh no, he might die, until Daz put the gun to his head. Well, even if he shot his, like, head off, like, we see that, I guess maybe Armin isn't as good at it, being a Titan shifter as Reiner, but even if he shot, like, his head off, he probably would have still survived. Yeah, it's literally just a point to say that Samuel and Daz shot first, and they tried to kill us, so it's more justified in us killing them. Also, it's a mini fake out because you're like, oh shit, Armin got shot. Oh no, it doesn't matter. He's a shifter, of course. It's supposed to just look brutal and spur Connie into action, yes, and it's supposed to be another traumatizing thing for fucking Armin. Okay, I agree. It was Connie remembering Bert, not Armin, by the way, okay. I thought Samuel would never walk again. Well, look at him now. Yes, exactly. I knew Dad survived. He isn't shown after the Tross battle. He survives the first part and he's alive when they are making the Boulder plan. But we didn't... That's right, he is in the crowd when they do the speech. Isama confirmed he survived through sheer luck. So even though I was late, I did join at a good time. I heard the Berserk thing was fake news, lol. Maybe it is, I don't know. I know people hate it, but I really like Armin being a Titan, but not transforming that much. who could care about how much Armin transforms? It's like so low on my list of giving a fuck. It's cool that he's like passively the Colossal Titan, lol, especially because the Colossal Titan isn't really made for fighting situations. Did we read all of this? We finally got to the end of chat. This fucking review is going to be an hour and a half long. The 104th, yes, I read that one. The growing old thing, we talked about the Bertolt thing, that's where we stopped. Annie seemingly is completely unfeeling about her former soldier comrades. She's always been quiet and distant, but it should be distant. Probably for this exact reason, so she never got attached. It's something I just assumed Bertolt would do, because Bertolt, when we see him in the Reiner flashbacks at the beginning of the Marley arc, is like way more confident in Marley. He's like the big brother to Reiner, instead of it being the other way around. So I always assumed that Bertolt was so quiet and like indecisive because he didn't want to get attached to the people he was training with in the training corps, since he knew he'd probably have to kill them at some point. And I feel like that's what Annie did as well, though she was always very quiet and like lonerish. But yeah, I think that both helps both of them. But Annie's like, fuck this shit, I'll kill him, I don't give a fuck. But then they have the whole talk about the airships. The importance of the airships. We've got a big Anya Capone fucking exposition dump here. It is made apparent that the airships are extremely necessary in stopping Eren, as are some Azumabito people. I hope I said it right. They need to fly and operate it. Anya Capone seemingly can't, though he does say maybe he could like operate it, but he doesn't know how to get the wings out or something. The point is, I guess these are the wings and you got to attach them. Okay, I'm just noticing that now. What the fuck? Oh no, that's all the plane here, right? It doesn't matter. We need to save some Azabino people. That's the fucking point. They also can't blow everything up and risk a full-scale attack because they are hopeless without securing the airships, and they need some of the people that are being held hostage. So they can't just send fucking Annie in and like transform on top of the building and crush everybody. I don't know. Not much else to say about that one. Fucking oath. Now we gotta read chat again. Do you think they can use the plane, or will they cross with Colossal Armin? I don't think so. I think they'll use the plane. I still think the Titan Shifter jumping out of the plane and then transforming is a great little fucking action moment that they'll have to use. They'll use the plane. They've been talking about it for chapters now. Yeah, the plane was like teased like ages and ages ago. They have to use it for something cool eventually. Yeah, Bert, Annie, and Reiner had different ways of compartmentalizing. Of course, Reiner literally compartmentalized his memories. Lol, yes, too. True. Jojo says, lol. It's funny how apparent it is that there's a trend of people complaining about something about the chapter that they expected in the very next chapter. Yes. Why don't they just blow up the plane? Yes. Why does Armin care that Annie is out? Reiner literally created another personality. Why are the Avengers here? Without struggle, yes, of course. Anya Capone could maybe fly a Zeppelin, but the mechanics of flying a plane is much different. Yes, of course. There was speculation before the chapter of, like, can Anya Capone fly it? I think we had an argument about it on stream one time. Why did Gami fire the gun without recoil? That was my favorite one, even though it literally shot her back in the very next fucking panel on the next chapter. Oh, I hate these people. How can Gabby ride a horse now when it's like the whole point of the scene is that she doesn't give a fuck. She overcomes any fear or any like compulsion to ride the horse because she has to save her boy Falco, alright? She doesn't give a fuck. She'll fucking jump on a horse through sheer adrenaline and have it down pat. That's the point. People saying that the Avengers beat the Yeagerists too easily and are claiming it's bullshit that the shifters can still transform. There are so many reasons to explain why they can transform. I remember when Jojo was like, bro, they can't transform. I don't remember what Jojo says anymore. Connie is motivated to save people. Connie seems to be like clinging to this like sense of humanity in him where he's like, our job is to save people, like this is the only thing that brought me back from nearly killing Falco. I have to stay committed to saving people, which is greatly fucking, it's so good how it is like changed at the end of the chapter when he has to kill fucking Samuel, close range, shoot him in the fucking head. What a great little mini like character arc for Connie, the secondary one of him after getting saved by Armin and Gabby, him deciding I've got to save people, only for like at the end of the very next chapter for it to be demonstrated that he can't save everybody. What a fucking great mini little 2-chapter character arc for fucking our boy Connie. Fantastic bullshit here from Isayama. We're here to save people, but why? Is it the first thing we're going to do is mass kill everyone who is on the island? Why does it have to be like this? Connie's frustrated. This has been a thing since post time skip. He's had these massive blow ups, and I've really liked this characterization of Connie of like he'll fucking have an explosion every now and then. I think it's great to have someone like that, a character like that around. Connie has one of his now signature blow-up moments where he screams about how he's recently realized that they have to save people to oppose Eren morally, as he thinks it's just okay to just mass slaughter the rest of the world. Obviously, he thinks he's different from Eren because he's not willing to kill all these people to achieve his goals. But come the end of the chapter, what's very interesting, he has to abandon this by the end of the chapter to save Armin. We'll talk about this more and the implications about it at the end. Connie seems to only be holding on to this idealism to get him through this. If this was Berserk or something, we would never get any resolution here. It would just be like part of Connie's character that he's like clinging to this idea of saving people to motivate him through the whole thing. But I think this is going to be addressed in the narrative, which is interesting. We'll talk more about this at the end. I think Berserk is more subtle with things like that. I just got a message. Okay, hold on. Lol, I said they probably can transform and look forward to Jans' explanation of it. Connie wants to be a soldier for his mum. There doesn't need to be an explanation. If they can regenerate, they can transform. The Titan powers weren't dependent on Ymir's feelings. Yes. I don't think... Yeah, the Ymir thing is a whole different fucking conversation I don't want to have. Yeah, Connie's development is pretty much the way he was able to let go of his mother, was to become a soldier, and now he can't even do that. Yeah, it's supposed to be hopeless. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Sure, I think their autonomous Zeke is creating the Titans in paths, or Eren is doing the Lelouch Itachi ending, or it wasn't Ymir that was fixing them as they got injured. It was like innately, like Ymir set up a system that happened, and even absent of her, the system still functions in the other world. It's fine. Like, it doesn't have to be Zeke or Eren doing it. Though it might be Zeke doing it. We talked about this, him helping on a different front last time. I don't think Eren is doing the Lelouch due to the fact that he's already destroying cities and he's making it as difficult as possible for the scouts to attack him. The fucking fact that cities are already being destroyed changes fucking everything in terms of speculation. We can talk about it at the end. Well, it's like when the Titan Shifters form, it forms Nape out, except for the Warhammer, right? That was a big thing. But Ymir builds them feet up. So I think it's inherent to the shifter having those powers. Anyways, yes, it is pointless. I wouldn't want Lelouch to. So now we've got a new Annie panel. Annie makes an interesting distinction between the warriors and soldiers. She basically says here that if these four had been the four people with the Titan powers back when... I guess I explain it here, but back when Reiner, her, Marcel, and Bertolt decided to destroy the walls, that they would have come to the conclusion to not destroy the walls. And she sort of basically says, like, you're more moral than us. If it had been you that day, you wouldn't have chosen to destroy the wall, unlike us. And this makes Reiner have a realization that we'll talk about in a second about Eren. Annie makes a comment that the Eldians, Armin, Mika, Jean, and Connie, are more moral than her, Reiner, and Bertolt because they aren't willing to just kill all the Yeagerists, meaning that one day that started it all, breaking down the Walmaria and Walshinganstina, they wouldn't have done it. I just explained all that. What does the implication of the end of the chapter mean for this conclusion? I think the reason why Connie and Armin had to kill like some of their friends for the narrative is to be like they actually are the same as Reiner and Annie. Like all soldiers in war are the same. They've done equal crimes or whatever. Or at least these ones have. I'd say Floch has done much worse, and same with like Gross or something. But I think the point of having them kill Samuel and Daz is to be like, no, they really are a lot like Reiner and Annie, and maybe in that situation they would have done it. Obviously, like they're a lot older than Reiner and Annie and Bertolt and Marcel were at the time. That's a neat little distinction. Reiner has a flashback to Eren, and this is a great parallel back to the scene, their conversation in Liberia, where Reiner finally realizes, I think what we all knew, is that Eren was basically saying, I'm about to become as bad as you, and my future events, we will basically be the same as I decide to kill a lot of people to try and save the world, and I'm going to use the justification of trying to save the world, just like you did. I feel like, we'll talk about this later with Floch, but I feel like Isayama is basically making, if we were to take the worst possible interpretation, like the most villainous interpretation of Eren, he basically is just Floch, and he has a superiority complex about about his race of people or something. But I feel like Floch already fits this in the narrative, so Eren has to be something different, and I feel like it has to be Itachi almost, or it has to be Devilman. I don't know. We'll talk about endings later. The same moment that leans into reflection from Annie about the difference between the warriors and the soldiers then makes Reiner finally realize what Eren meant when he said that they were the same in Liberia. Eren recognizes that what he was basically the point I was just making before I started reading was basically that Eren has far too much self-awareness shown in this conversation and in this moment Reiner is remembering to be just like Floch. So it's very interesting. Again, we've never really gotten scenes with Eren and Floch where Eren has been like, I feel like we might get a scene later where Armin or whoever is talking to Eren and Eren basically says, yeah, that Floch idiot, I didn't give a fuck about him. He's a moron. He was a useful idiot for the scheme. He was a sacrifice that had to be made or something. I can very much see, like, Eren, if they are doing any sort of redemption for Eren, he has to, like, separate himself from the other Yeagerists and how stupid they just blatantly are. Eren recognizes that what he is going to do with the rumbling was just as bad, if not way worse, than what Reiner and the other warriors did to start the series, making them the same. Of course, we gotta fucking read chat, because it's exploding right now. Let me go to the next panel, so you have something interesting to look at. Reiner tries to shoulder the burden for everyone. We'll talk about that in a second. I don't think Eren is doing the Lelouch. I read that. I read up to Jojo saying he wouldn't like Lelouch either. I don't understand the point of Annie's line there. Which line? Some of the lines are like poorly translated, I think, since it's such an early version of the chapter. So some shit didn't make sense here and there, just like in terms of grammar or whatever. But I don't know which line he's talking about. The Malayan Eldians were brainwashed. But I don't know, I guess. Well, the thing is, Annie wasn't really brainwashed, right? She was just doing it for her father. She even, like, has a blow-up at Reiner when Reiner wants to still attack the walls, where she says, fuck Eldia, fuck Marley, I don't care. Like, Annie never bought into, like, the brainwashing and the hatred for her own people. I think that's what she meant, maybe. But I don't know, I guess I misinterpreted that I'm just like you. I thought the point was that Eren was wrong there. I'm not sure what Minty means, because Eren talks about how they're the same. Then Reiner cries and says that he didn't. Well, because Eren hadn't done anything as bad as what Reiner had done yet when that scene happened, I think is what the point is there. He didn't consider Paradis the enemies. He just wanted to save the world. And you can see on Eren's face, this isn't what he expected. Okay. So Eren wanted the same thing as Reiner, but he didn't respond to the fact that they were still different. I've thought the same about Eren and Floch. Eren seems to be being portrayed as not as bad. Yeah, I think Floch is like supposed to be like a sadistic prick that no one's supposed to like. This is the common thing with the primary and secondary antagonists, yes, of course. There's like a massive trope where like the secondary antagonist is like way worse than the main antagonist, and then sometimes, like, I think back to like Uncharted 1 where the secondary antagonist becomes like he kills the main protagonist, and it's like, I was just fucking with you the entire time and I'm the one that won the power. It's a big old trope. Like if you think about Harry Potter, I don't know, Umbridge is hated more than Voldemort. Yeah, well, Umbridge is annoying for different reasons, but yes. Reiner tries to shoulder the burden for everyone. Reiner realizing that he can protect the soldiers from becoming like him and Eren, tries to save them and shoulder the burden for them, and offers to let the Malayans and the warriors do the dirty work, basically killing everybody down there. Armin, Mikasa, Connie, and Jean don't react here, but are just processing their options. Eventually, Armin will say what I think they were all thinking, which is that they can't have that they have to assist and can't just let other people do their dirty work. So basically, I think what's being portrayed here is Reiner's basically saying, we'll kill everyone down there so you don't have to kill your confrads, and so we shoulder the burden for their deaths, and you don't have to, like, kill your friends, basically. You just have to, like, watch or whatever. Do not interfere. So Reiner, basically, he's very stern here, but he recognizes that, all right, me and Eren are bad people, but these guys aren't yet. They're just reactionary. Like, they haven't really done anything wrong. They haven't attacked anybody or anything like that. Because Eren basically led the attack in Liberia, like they learned last chapter in the meeting or whatever. So he's trying to, like, protect them, basically. It's a very nice gesture from Reiner here, but Armin will later say, no, we can't let you do that. And it's like a nice gesture to Reiner, like they're getting along here. So next one. Hanji explains that Eren has already likely made it to Mali. I saw the Titans advancing while leaving behind a huge amount of steam. Out there in the open sea, the Titans have already reached the continent of Mali. If I had to guess based on their speed, they have probably annihilated every city in the northeast part of Mali, which is close to here. Okay, and then we have all the Malians freaking out, and Magath will freak the fuck out in a second. Hanji has binoculars or something and determines by watching the smoke that Eren and the army of Wall Titans have likely already made it to the continent of Mali and have destroyed the northernmost cities of Mali. I wasn't even aware that they had made it to the ocean yet, but fuck me. Hanji says that they will reach all the continents of the world in a blink of an eye. So fucking, they're ramping up the fucking tension here. They're already at Mali, which means, like, if Eren was going for a perfect Itachi ending, they probably would have stopped him before he got to Mali. But I don't know how the ending works now, how they realistically get Mali on the side. This has complicated things a bit more. So it's very interesting in that regard. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something else. Fucking... Yeah, but, like, it's the tension thing I was talking about. They've ramped it up like we are on a time schedule. We have to do shit. We have to do shit quick. We have to stop Eren. We have to stop Eren now. I guess maybe, like, all the Titans will show up while the military is trying to hold all the Titans back, and they'll be getting fucked up, and then all the Eldians will come in and help them. And maybe they'll win some people over there on the front lines. We'll have to see how that all goes. But this was a massive reveal. Of, like, Eren is already at Mali and is destroying shit. So Itachi ending takes a blow from this area, and I also thought, like, Devilman, like, we're fucked, we can't save it. Maybe everyone does die. And Isayama finally gets the mist ending. We'll see. I'll be more surprised how casually the rumbling destroyed Mali was revealed. Yes, it was. Isayama does casual reveals all the time. That's part of his, like, brilliance. Like, there's some reaction shots, but I think, well, this Magath thing is all in regards to that. So there. But I think back to the first arc when there's so much drama and screaming, crying. When one person died, the size of the walls is about the equivalent of Germany. So there. Well, it's exactly the island of Madagascar, right? That's the real world equivalent of Paradis. So they're probably steamrolling super fast. Is this an Attack on Titan reaction? Crunch Munch 8, who we haven't seen on the stream before, is saying this. No, it's not. It's a review more than a reaction. We've made a beautiful PowerPoint, as you can see. So we'll move on to the next slide here. Magath decides it's time for Yelena to die. It's Yelena's time to die or get tortured. I thought that was a clever little title. But he fucking explodes and grabs this bitch and breaks her fucking arm, looking like it here. This is a crunch right here. Fucking her shit up, and is basically like, what a great moment of, like, he slowly moves Onyekapon out of the way and is like, fuck this bitch. Like, this is supposed to be the retaliation, like, and the Marleyans are mad. I go into, like, Magath's, like, what this must mean for him here, which is actually really good, like, subtext to this chapter that isn't really hampered on, and maybe will be in the future where Magath is like, well, I've fucked up everything, haven't I? Magath, in response to this, is the most viscerally angry. He has failed in the mission Willy Tiber left to him. Mali is entirely under his control, and he's not even there to defend it while it's being invaded by an enemy force. He decides it's time for Yelena to be tortured, because she apparently knows better than everyone else where Eren is specifically. Got a new follower. I'm going to assume, I'll see it on my phone in a second because I don't want to go out of full screen, that it was Crunch Munch 8. But we'll see in a second. It'll show up on my screen. I don't know why Yelena supposedly knows where Eren is more than everybody else. He's probably in like the center or something. It was Crunch Munch 8. Thank you for the follow, my friend. So I don't know what that's all about. Hanji eventually makes him stop, and Yelena even says that she might help them or something. She says that she might tell them where Eren is, because it's interesting now and she wants to see how it all ends. Yelena's still like the thorn in the side of the Alliance here, who's not entirely working. Like, Anya Capon is very much like a survival opportunist. He'll work with anyone that like promises him survival. So he's like all on board with the plan, especially now that his country and everyone he knows is probably going to die. Yelena doesn't really have any attachments to the outside world, so she's just sort of like, I don't really care. Let me scroll up. All right, chat didn't explode as much as I thought. I'm surprised you can even see across the ocean like in chapter 90. They couldn't see Marley. I don't know. Well, she has like a little fucking I'm not going to call it the binocular thing, and she's basically just saying that because of the steam, they must have already made it there because of how far the steam is out. It's also a guess. We don't have like in narrative confirmation. We didn't see people getting trampled in Marley, so maybe Hanji's guess is off or something, and it's some fake tension Isayama's trying to boil up. The Yelena and Magath dynamic makes me horny. Yeah, I don't know about that. Which says the big O face. Oh, Carl, did you see the Willy parallel where he holds out his hands? Is that in Magath's speech after this? I don't think I noticed that parallel exactly. There's about 1,300 miles between Africa and Madagascar, so they wouldn't be able to see Marley from Paradis. I don't think that's the implication here. I think she's just measuring like the steam and how far away it is and making like a guess. But they still must have been able to see the shore if they could see the steam. Well, there's a lot of fucking steam, I'd imagine. This is literally the worst conversation I've ever had in my life, and I don't want to have it anymore. Wait, did you just call Anya Capon a survival opportunist? I think so, right? Did you forget that he refused to live under the LD? That's true. He did. I guess that's sort of his growth in his character. Yeah, he does do the big rejection thing when he's about to get executed. I'll put them side by side. Stop crying. Did we finish this fucking... We got to the end of chat, yes. We talked about everything on this Magath panel. Magath bows to the Eldians in apology. So we got a big moment here with Magath bowing to the Eldians, showing that he doesn't think he's more than them or they're lesser than him. Not that he really ever did. We went over that before. Magath, still reeling of the urgency of the situation, strengthens his alliance with the Eldian soldiers by actually using their names and bowing to them in apology. This is obviously juxtaposes his behavior last chapter, where he was very prideful about being Malayan and was very anti-Eldian. He is now another character that has realized that they cannot squabble amongst themselves if they want to catch up to and stop Eren. Things have gotten real now that Marley has already been attacked in his absence. I think that there's like a dual motivation here of, even if he doesn't necessarily believe every word he's saying here, which I actually do think he does, but the motivation of like, all right, I need these people to help me. Marley is being invaded. Let's go. We've got to fucking get this shit settled. And I got to take my pride out of it and bow to them so we can save my country, sort of thing here. But that's all I got to say about that. You think everything is the worst and a waste of time? Shut up, Minty. Did you find Magath's development rushed? I didn't, but I know some people did. Of course not. I think, like, the thing we went over this last time. I don't even think he believes what he said, like, last chapter, and that he was just, like... I don't want to go into that all again, but no, I don't think... This rushed word, I've grown to hate it over these last few months of people just using it like it's a default argument, like they don't have to justify themselves any further, and they just go, well, it was rushed, bro. It's like the worst fucking argument. Do you think Magath could have much political influence on Marley for giving Eldians, or at this point is it too late? I've got no idea now. People are claiming Magath's development was rushed. Personally surprised me and was a little easier than I expected. Don't mind it. It is in line with his character. He never hated Eldians. Last chapter was him just responding to, like, working with them, and he sort of blamed them for what was going on. I don't want to have this conversation again. Fuck, I'm going to have to click on this link that Minty put in chat. We got to anti-full screen it. I agree. He didn't mean it in chapter 127, his reaction to Hanji's words, and James proves that. Well, his entire relationship with... Yes, alright, I see this parallel now with the hand thing. His relationship with Gabby the whole time, he's been like a surrogate father to her and everything. Like he's always been very easy on the warriors, and things like that. Like he's much more, and he's big friends with our boy Willie here. Yes, this is a parallel. Oh, we got 2 notifications since we started streaming. Let's see what these are on. Oh no. It's fucking JoJo's God. This has to be JoJo's fucking other accounts trolling here. The best S tier in The Sopranos, worst D tier, then Revenge. For some reason, he goes on revenge memes constantly. I'm confused. He's always been easy on the eyes too. Am I right? Of course. Our boy Magath, he'd be strikingly handsome. Yelena thinks so. Definitely a handsome man. Housewife, revenge, a lover. Yes, it's a troll account. It has to be JoJo. It has to be someone from stream. Well, I feel like JoJo is only invested in Attack on Titan, so he would know about revenge because we talk about it all the time on stream. It's the only time we mentioned it in a stream, and it started happening like a stream after I talked about revenge for like 5 minutes. I don't get the revenge memes. Yes. So we've gone over that. That's a weird side chant the YouTube audience isn't going to know about. You see these inside memes you'd get if you were in the Twitch thing. So we went over the Magath thing. Armin refuses to sit back and watch. So Armin refuses Magath's offer here and Reiner's offer. All the Marleans are like shocked that Armin would reject this, about not dirtying his hands. Armin, however, refuses both Magath and Reiner's offers for them to shoulder the burden and says that they can't just stand on the side pretending they are in the moral right while everyone else fights for them. This surprises the Malayan. This is basically the Eldians saying, we'll do it all together and reaffirming the alliance they have recently made. Yes, it's basically the Eldians being like, we'll do it together, bro, big hug, without them doing the big hug. Also, we cut away and later find out that Armin has come up with a plan for no bloodshed, which does eventually fail. So after this, we cut away, because in fiction, if you ever see the plan, if you ever get the plan before it happens, it always fails. But this plan did seemingly fail, even though we didn't see it, so it could be a little subversion of that trope. But Armin basically has an idea here to try and not kill anybody. But the Marlene shifters were already like in position in case it failed, so they had a backup plan, and the backup plan seems to be working. The backup plan turns out it was just Reiner and, we're getting to the good stuff. Reiner and Annie were going to explode and fuck them all up. Floch is trying to intimidate Kiyomi to no effect. Kiyomi destroys him with facts and logic, boys and girls. I only remember you talking about revenge in the nostalgia video. On the old channel, I had a whole 15-minute revenge analysis video of the pilot. So there you fucking go. It's funny how Armin is like, we must dirty our hands. I cut to him and Connie not dedicating themselves to it. Well, the whole point was no one should dirty their hands, I think, is Armin's talking point there, even though they did end up having to dirty their hands. I think this is also a parallel to Eren, because Eren is always the one to go off on his own and doesn't want his friends to fight for him. Yes, maybe. But fuck that shit, we're talking about Kiyomi. New best girl, you know? If you think that Paradise Island is safe with this, I'm sorry to say, but you will just make the world smaller. You will continue killing each other as usual. Destroyed. And then Floch, I thought about this as I was reading it, and I knew I was going to say it, and I'm pretty sure fucking someone in chat could basically say the talking point that I'm about to bring up. If this was Berserk, what would I say? Someone in chat will say it. We'll get back to it after I finish. If this was Berserk, what's happening in this scene is all I got to fucking say about that. So let's read the fucking write-up I did here. It's revealed in this scene that Floch is illogical in his thinking and simply loves the idea of feeling superior to other people because he's a loser. The uninteresting, fodder, unspecial character that survived by sheer luck is who Floch is. The Yeagerists gave him importance both in the plot and in the fictional world of Attack on Titan, and he's reveling in this fucking newfound importance. And he thinks he's got a massive dick because of it, when actually he's about to get the fuck beaten out of him by an old lady. He clearly just gets off on intimidating Kiyomi, but she isn't having it, even though he's already killed many of her men. She's stoked. She doesn't give a fuck. It's fucking awesome. Look at this I don't give a fuck badass look here. Great shit. This is good shit. She then destroys him with facts and logics about how the rumbling is blitheringly stupid solution to any problem. Eren has to know this. He's too self-aware to think that the rumbling is going to fix their problem. So why is he doing it? Why? We will find out come the end of the series, most likely. Yes, Minty says, I don't know, rape. And if this was Berserk, Kiyomi would definitely be getting felt up by Floch at this point, because it's very clear that this is like something Floch gets off to. Like, he likes the fact that people have to know their place. Like, he even says after she says this that I know that this maybe isn't going to fix anything, but the most important thing is that you know your place, and basically that I am better than you. Because it's all been a power trip for Floch. It's like he doesn't really give a fuck about the Yeagerists. He just saw an opportunity of power and importance when he was like the unspecial loser, uninteresting. He was literally the conceit of Floch as a character is he's the fodder character that accidentally survived. And what is it like when a fodder character survives, and what does a fodder character think that we can sort of imply onto everybody else, all the other fodder characters we've known throughout the series. I should make that Floch point in a video one time. Let me see what's chat doing. Take note, Floch can't even respond to the fact that hatred will perpetrate on the island because he doesn't care. Yes, of course, Minty's right there. This finally confirmed Floch is just a fascist who believes in hierarchy, know your place. Then he says, I don't know, Ray. I miss Gross in the streams at this time, yes. There you go, Gross gets mentioned again. It took me until this chapter to realize how two-dimensional Floch is. He just has a superiority complex, and it's funny watching it be taken away from him. And then Munch says wait, so I don't know what he wants us to wait about. I don't like Floch as a person, but he's entertaining to watch, I guess. I really do like the reveal here that it's just like he feels very insignificant, and now that he's got power, like, he wants to impose it on other people, even though he doesn't deserve it, as we'll find. We gotta wait. There we go. But we gotta get back there. So this is the point where I stopped doing write-ups because I ran out of time and we had to stream. So from now on, I don't have any interesting notes written up, and it's just 2 images. So Armin and Connie initiate the plan. Daz and Samuel are alive. Big shocker, big fan service moment when Daz and Samuel showed up. Too bad not too bad, but it was good that they weren't actually just fan service inclusions. They have a point in the narrative here, especially on Armin and Connie's characters. So Armin has this plan to be like, Floch, we gotta get the fucking thing. The Piek has killed John or something. And it almost works. Floch does think through it eventually, but by the time he figures out that it's all bullshit, it's too late. And Daz and Samuel being Yeagerists sort of works. They were both like really weak-willed and stuff, so they became terrorists. So, you know, that's all that is. It's interesting that they both have scout uniforms on now. I'm pretty sure they both would have gone to the garrison, because if they were in the scouts, they would have died. If they had always been in the scouts, they would have died in Shinganshina, but they didn't. So there we go. Yes, he was entertaining this chapter 2, never disappoints, says Jojo about Floch. I mean, I've seen IRL Yeagerists act the same way, where when you tell them that rumbling won't work, they go, well, it's still better than have the rest of the world killed for wishing death on your people. Yes, character encyclopedia machine broke. Samuel on that pic looks like he's about to feel me up. Maybe. What's going on with this pinky over here? That's a little fucking weird. Said Samuel was dead. Yes, sad times. I swear that happened with another character where they were written as dead but never actually confirmed dead in the manga, so I was brought back. I don't know. Well, Samuel got the fucking spike through his goddamn calves, so like he probably didn't fight in Trost at all because he was already injured before that. So that's why he didn't die there. And Daz, we just never saw die, so it's fine that he's back. Daz is the big inclusion. Like, he was the big coward dude. I like that they were back and we had to kill him because fuck him. That was a great thing. Chad, Asian woman's cucks little white boy with gun. It was fucking, this is moment of the chapter easily. I didn't include the other panel, but the one where she like swiftly and quickly moves into motion is fucking cool as shit. People like crying about this are just mad because their boy that they made all the fucking Chad memes about last chapter immediately got fucked up by an old Asian woman, and they don't like that. It was pretty fucking awesome. They all stand up. The Jaegers are like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then they get fucked up by Mikasa. What a moment! Absolutely fucking enormous. This is the moment people are going to be skipping to in their reaction videos when they watch them on YouTube. Uh, Fuck, I gotta scroll up. The problem is Yeagerists think that Yeagerists are the Survey Corps when they're actually the military police. Well, I guess they're both. That transition, man, anyone's fine. I don't know when I said anyone's fine. Daz is the final villain. Well, the final villain got killed this chapter then. What does that mean, Armong? I have no idea what the fuck Minty is talking about. The panel where she's under Floch's arm is better him out. Yes, probably. Lol. Hasn't Floch been consistently pathetic? He only looked cool last chapter, and that was a cliffhanger. Yeah, it was supposed to intimidate us to get us excited for the next chapter. People like went mental with the "we love Floch" memes because some of it was sarcastic. Like people were like, "Floch's so despicable that some of us like him." Ironically, isn't it funny? Aren't we creative and different, boys? And then they like made the Chad memes, which were also incredibly hilarious, apparently. And now some people at least bought into it fully, and he got fucked up. So fuck him and fuck them. I meant narratively the Yeagerists are the military police like Jean making the decision not to join them. Yes, I guess. I understand what you mean. The previous slide, Armin is saying anyone's fine. And I was saying that was a bad translation. What does it say? Anyone's fine, so hurry up. Well, he's saying send anyone. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Mikasa says Kiyomi and they start the fight. This was probably even better than any of the other Kiyomi single panels. Her looking in, Mikasa coming through the window. See, we like Mikasa now, alright? The days of hating Mikasa died about 5 months ago. And she like comes in. I didn't include this, but there's like the great panel where she like forces the fucking gun through this cunt's skull. That was great shit. But Mikasa doesn't kill anybody here. It's not until the next panel here. Magath is the first one to draw blood, so that's an important distinction. Mikasa was still trying to not kill people and just beat the fuck out of them for now. And Kiyomi doesn't kill Floch here. Which maybe they'll regret if Floch does kill Hanji or something, but we'll have to see. Yeah, it's also a great moment because they're similar and they're sort of parallels to each other and sort of family, distant family. So it's like a neat little moment of them bonding, which might play into an ending if Mikasa goes to live with the Azubinos. I've always done the big meme with John goes with her or whatever, and they have their bullshit romance. But yes, this was a cool fucking panel. We love Mikasa, Jojo says. Mikasa is always doing the shit where she flies in to save a hostage, like in the Uprising arc. True, she does do it there. Can't wait to see this animated. Fuck that anime. Get it out of here. How are they similar, Kyle? You fucking racist. Yes, of course. Floch escapes and orders the attack with the Thunder Spear. So yeah, Floch gets out of there, which is an important thing. He like gets out of the fucking thing and has a big sook. Everybody attacks. Look at these fucking idiots on the roof. Mikasa and so the plan falls apart at this point. So the plan could have maybe succeeded if Kiyomi doesn't fuck up Floch. But Floch was going to shoot like this guy, I think, and that's why she did it. God, what a wimping little face he's making here. What a crybaby bitch. But yeah, so basically Kiyomi started the fighting, basically. So people start shooting because Kiyomi and Floch gets away, and Floch starts ordering the attack because of what Kiyomi did. Maybe Mikasa could have swooped in and like taken these three out silently, and they could have gotten out of there or something. But the point is, Kiyomi is actually the one that starts instigating shit, and that makes Floch start the actual attack, which means they failed and that they have to start fighting and killing people. Then the Thunder Spears start raining down and people start rushing in to kill Kiyomi, and Mikasa and Magath starts shooting people. He's the first one to shoot. Oh, he's got a scout uniform on. Look at that. He's disguising in there. That's interesting. That's a good little nod there. I didn't notice that yet. Magath in a scout's uniform. What the fuck? We'll avoid the attack in the basement. Yeah, they try to go down to the basement or whatever, but Reiner and Annie end up saving them. If you want to come with us, if you want to live, come with us. They could have translated it into the fucking Terminator line. But yes, these dudes get the fucking shit shot out of him. This will definitely be censored in our shitty anime adaptation, but there we go. What's wrong with the Attack on Titan anime? A lot. I love how Floch doesn't mention Jean here because he thinks he's dead. Yes. Wonder if that will be useful next chapter. The Asians are always the aggressors. Calm down. What's in the basement? Yes. What is in the basement? The basement, the key to everything. But Magath is the first one to shoot. So it's basically the 104th didn't start it, but they had to react to the violence going on around them, and they were forced to be violent as well. It's sort of what's being clued at here. Because Mikasa tried not to kill these guys, but Magath's like, fuck them, shoot him in the head. And I feel like this is completely morally justifiable, but I wonder what Isama is going to imply with this, like, thematically. Samuel starts shooting up Armin. They shot first, which completely justifies Connie's reaction to everything. He literally tried to kill. If Armin wasn't a shifter, he would be dead. So there's basically every justification possible. I guess we'll speed through these panels and we'll just talk about the chapter grandly. Then Floch, like, there's the great panel of Floch, like how Isam always does, where it gets a close-up on Floch's eyes before some big shit happens in the background. Then we see Reiner and Annie transforming and fighting together. This is the first time I think we've ever seen these two fight together properly. Floch falls for the trap, and Reiner and Annie are back in action after the shooting. They come out and they start slaughtering these idiots. Fuck them. This is an interesting panel. I'll read chat before we talk about this. The way Armin is shot is depicted as very horrifying. It is pretty fucking great. I liked it a lot. Armin, Ahigo, face, sorry, yes, maybe. I can't say it properly, but you know what it means. He isn't just shot in the heart and then falling down. It's P-violent and also pretty, I'm assuming. And also his mouth got shot, which I guess is symbolic. Yes, his jaw is like hanging off in the next scene. We see Reiner and Annie run together in the Marley flashback arc. Yes, the one thing where they give the exposition about all of the Titan shifters. Then there's this interesting, like, half a page of showing up here and everyone's watching. Anya Capon, Gabby, Falco, Yelena, and Piek, and then Levi's sitting down here. It was no use after all, huh? Why did it turn out like this? Anya Capon says, you can't take violence away from people, right, Captain? And then Levi doesn't say shit, but he's watching as he can't help. So I think this is going to have some very interesting implications. So at least part of the final battle, Levi's just sitting out and watching. And this violence theme reiterates into something. I remember it connected to something, but I can't remember it now. But yes. I guess it's sort of Kiyomi's thing of they'll just keep killing each other, of like the violence is inherent in people or something. And that's the point being made here, but look at this shit. They're fucking it up in the background. There we go. Yelena looks at the battlefield with Levi and talks about violence, right? And then we got the final panel here. Connie kills Daz and Samuel to save Armin and has a big scream. The dream they had together ended as nightmare. The dream they're referring to is the Bertolt dream of them growing old and drinking together, all the people from the 104th, and how they were going to get through the conflict together, when they originally thought the conflict was just killing all the Titans, and they were hopeful about good and evil. But at this point, Connie has to kill more of his comrades, more of the people he wanted to grow old, and die with drinking together. And it's a great little fucking piece. And I guess we can fully talk about the implications of this now, and about how what it's going to mean for their characters that they tried the no violence route and failed, and and how they change from here going forward. Like, are they fully embracing violence now and saying fuck it? Does that make them any better than Eren morally? Because they have to be morally better if they want to beat Eren, because thematically that's how stories work. So it'll be very interesting, the implications for the ending here. Like, maybe we are going Devilman ending and everyone is about to go insane with, like, vengeance and violence and start turning on each other. I'm not sure. I saw the comments from the fandom if we haven't already. I forgot we did this at the end of these fucking videos. Where should we go to see some classical Yeagerists opinions? Let's refresh this. We'll finish up reading chat. Anya Capon, Falco, and Gabby, the wholesome squad. I don't know, we'll see. Why isn't Levi getting angry at Annie? Why he only care about Zeke? Yes, a massive complaint we all have. Fuck me. The cruel world, strong dominate the weak. That can't be the theme. That's not a very good theme to impart. Lol, that's all the Yeagerists say to criticize Levi. I don't think Isayama is going to justify that, though. Levi would, well, yeah, Minty says what I said anyway. Levi would be a good trainee instructor after the war. Do they need trainees after the war? I'll see. We'll have to see. I love the editor's note. Yes, they're always pretty good. The dream thing is just added by the editor, so it means nothing. Well, no, it's just reiterating on what happens. Like, it's basically making, because right before this they have the flashback to Bertolt. So it's just making that subtext of the single flash of Bertolt more literal, so you understand it better. The dream they had referring to Bertolt, even though we could have, if this editor thing here wasn't there, you would still get the point that they're thinking about the dream of growing old with Bertolt. So yeah, it's just reiterating on the point. It's not changing anything. I think it's only in the magazine moment, but I get it. Yeah, well, they don't put that in the volume releases, no. I still like it. Well, it does mean something. It's just reiterating on the point. The panel of Connie shooting him reminds me of Jean beating up Reiner. Yeah, maybe the angry thing is here. Has anyone commented on our video here yet? It should have shot up in more views. It definitely underperformed a little bit, this video. But fine, I don't care. It was the last minute predictions video. I don't think there's... If we sort by newest, is there anyone, like, complaining about the chapter yet? I don't think so, though. No, the last one is fucking... 1 day ago. So where do we go to see these outraged Yeagerists? I don't want to go to Read SNK because we could get fucked. Shitty Reddit it is. Let me try and find. What do we go? We go to those release threads or whatever they call them. Some shitty meme by these idiots. Hold on. Alright, the Berserker Reddit is confirming this. That we are getting a chapter. We'll talk about this later. This is not a Berserk video. We are still with the YouTube audience. We'll end it after this. God, the internet really be shitty sometimes. We've been going for an hour and 30, so we'll have, like, a perfect time. So this is the one we want to click on, right? Titanfolk is usually the best for farming idiots, right? And then we go... I guess we should go... We should do... Let's see what they're saying. Eren gang all day. There we go. We got a genius to start with. Wait, I just realized something. The shifters can transform. Does this mean Eren/Ymir ignore them? Again, thinking about the real things. Unpopular opinion, the character whom Isayama was actually afraid to kill off is Levi. Here we go again. Yeah, he had his promise, but does anyone see success in this series? I guess that if Levi were to die in 113, you'd say bad writing. This is the worst. I don't want to see new. Let's see what best is. Let's see what's getting the most upvotes. Daz dies. Samuel got off-screen unmurdered, only to be on-screen remurdered anyway. Now it's true despair. Whatever. Who cares? Shitty jokes. Of all the websites, you are definitely the worst one to possess the new chapter. Whatever that means. I'm dying to see Zeke again. I have no idea what he would do when he comes back. Neither the Alliance or Eren matches goal. Well, obviously the Alliance matches are better. I think, guessing he will go, Grisha told him to try and stop Eren. Gee. Check out the big brain on this one. Damn, this chapter is deep. It took them long enough, but they were finally able to understand what Reiner and Bertolt meant. Even if they were Conrades, they had no choice but to move forward. Eren realized this way back. Oh, what an awful read. This moving forward meme, this is literally in every fucking series I've ever fucking seen. Like, they're saying it in Full Metal Alchemist now in the point I'm up to. Let's go by controversial. Let's see the hot takes. Every fucking main character you've ever seen, like, says keep moving forward. I don't know why everyone has a fixation about this. Did Isayama forget that Ymir is on Eren's side? Oh no, I hate these people so much. Why the fuck did they not only transform, but had hardening? This chapter is so shit, it's frustrating. Bro, just accept the bad ending and move on. Watch something better like Naruto. And oh no, I think he's memeing. Alright. What's this one? This one's got 0 points. All aboard the Eren train, the Survey Corps. Autists. There we go. Big brain things here. Don't deserve a happy ending after this shit. Why? Because they can appreciate the efforts Eren is doing for getting their peace. Did he not read the Kiyomi bit? This is what we were farming. No people mad about Floch's treatment, though. Another Avenger chapter. Avenge chapter. He didn't even say Avenger. This manga just hasn't been the same since chapter 123. He said he needs to bring back the quality writing which was shown in chapter 121. The chapter where everything I wanted to happen happened, so it was good. No Eren being there is also reducing the quality. Yes, we need more Eren, even though that's antithetical to the entire point. Truth just showed up and said, "Did I miss the review?" You did. Let me scroll up and see what chat is saying. Reddit controversial surely, Minty says. Yes, we were on it. By the way, you should have streamed last night looking at the leaks. No, we shouldn't have. You should do stuff like this for Berserk chapters. The Mal forums have some good material. Yeah, we'll do it. Since we started this new format for reviewing chapters, there hasn't been a Berserk chapter, so we'll have to see what happens there. It'll be much shorter, I assume, though, because there's a lot less content in monthly Berserk chapters. When the chapter came out, all the links were shit. Okay. The images weren't loading. The funny thing about moving forward thing is that Eren isn't moving forward, Gabby is. Oh, don't tell them that. He's the one giving into determinism. Well, not necessarily determinism, but yes, he's basically giving up and saying, fuck everybody. Shake my head, be grateful for what Eren is doing, you cucks. Yes. Did I miss the review? Truth? Yes, you did. It said avenge, not... Oh, it said average, not avenge, whatever. Yep, we went through the PowerPoint, truth crying. Did you gonna piss your pants? Maybe. Not reading any comments. I just started 124. I was reading for people supporting genocide by Eren. Read about. Okay, that's a bit of a thing. Fascist rhetoric always starts through patriotism and loyalty. They're arguing. Whoa, we actually got someone with a big brain over here. Hold on. I'm beginning to dislike SNK with the last chapters. Get him out of here. Shovel him out. Who cares? I hope Floch kills at least one of the cringe Avengers. Well, you can still hold on to that hope. Alright, what the fuck, Connie? Oh, is this what we wanted? This man seriously lost it, brutally murdering his own friends, even he's the one who gave the mini speech earlier in the chapter. Why are people so stupid? Do they not understand that the point of him giving the speech was that he had to betray it by the end and what that means going forward? Oh, I hate it. When I read the chapter title, I thought for sure Jean or Connie would break and turn traitors. Why are you so dumb? Do you think the chapter titles are supposed to be like literal? Connie, the traitor in the title is supposed to be Floch, right? Connie did, but he betrayed his own fucking friends. They shot him. They were going to kill Armin. What the fuck is he talking about? Expand the territory and eat meat with us. One incredible callback. I didn't even realize this chapter, this character Samuel was there at that moment. And for fuck's sakes, these cringe Avengers are driving me insane, especially Hanji. Hanji seems to be the one getting the most hatred here. I think she's the easy target for these people. The Yeagerists have killed 4 of us anyway, so if the chance comes, I would very much partake in murdering my fellow Eldians. Yikes! This is what we call a good old-fashioned dog whistle. Because there is no time left for humanity. Like, bitch, this shit wouldn't have happened if you'd come up with a better alternative instead of the stupid scare Marley with the founder and wait 50 years to catch up with them. That wasn't even the plan they necessarily agreed to. They went to Marley and then they were forced to act by Eren. You've come so far and settled your differences with these warriors and Marley because Eren forced your hand. Now is he trying to change into an Itachi ending here? Already moving the goalposts? Force your hand now, which he likely knew would happen through the Attack Titan's memories. Well, then she couldn't have known about it if he didn't tell her about it, so she can't operate off knowledge she doesn't know about. I'm really starting to like Hanji and Connie a lot less now. Armin's still his cunning, sympathetic self. Mikasa is still kicking. What the fuck? Jean is still the best character. That's the dumbest thing he said so far. Yelena is still crazy. What is with this still shit? A character's supposed to remain the same the entire way? Magath just became a whole lot a whole lot more respectable because he bowed to the Eldians, I guess. And Eldians good is what this person is ready to see. And he's talking a lot now. I'm genuinely scared that Reiner will save the world and survive all of this. This weird old meme that Reiner like has plot armor, and it's just the worst. It's just the dumbest talking point that just morons repeat because they hear it and they think it sounds funny because the jokes write themselves because the plot armored Titan. Is the whole point is that Reiner keeps escaping death. That's part of his character. It's intentional. It's not like a byproduct that Isayama wasn't intending. Oh, I hate these people. And survive all this, he was acting more like a leader. All in all, what a chapter this was. Now he likes it. I guess he just didn't like Connie. These kind of chapters tug at the heart and made me doubt my feelings towards characters are my favorite. Isayama killing it. Always, pun intended, he's hoping that the cringe Avengers reach the continent. There'll be nothing left to see. Cheers. Well, that was a fucking weird bipolar comment. Deleted by user. Alright, I don't want to read any more fucking Reddit comments. We got a good one there at the end. Let me finish reading chat, and then we'll end the YouTube video, and we'll talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. Secret. Bacon showed up. It'll be his first new Berserk chapter when it comes out. I don't know. I guess determinalism technically isn't right, but you know what I mean. Yes, of course. Did we like it? I'm pretty up on it, but I was hoping for some more plot progression. I thought it was pretty fucking fantastic chapter. Determinism if time travel was a thing. Yeah, I guess. New chapter of Berserk coming out this month, right? Yes, 24th. I swear to God, the people with the Historia profile images. Yes. Bacon says, let's go, of course. 90% of the 90% of the time, full bone flashes. The mental gymnastics are so odd. How do you make yourself care about Daz and Samuel? You must have hate all the Alliance characters so much to do that. He thinks it makes more sense to Connie betray the Alliance and join the Yeagerists because the Yeagerists has his friends. What? Yeah. Can't believe I was one of them. Thank God I got character development. Jojo did get character development, apparently. Wish says, lol, fun fact, I have seen a lot of people I know be Yeagerists, be like based when Magath facepalmed Yelena. Well, what are we going to do? I don't know if unironically funny because violence against entitled women or not because they should agree with Yelena more, which they did in chapter 127, shows they're not consistent, of course not. No, keep reading, there's so many good ones. I don't want to, I just fucking annoys me. I'll have to deal with these people in the comments section, alright, Minty? If you made fucking appearances there, you'd see some shit. You know, for being one of the best mangas around, Attack on Titan sure has some dumbass fan base. Man, it started with that shonen community, alright? Attack on Titan was the big new shonen when it first came out, and it attracted a lot of those fans. Even though those fans should be a lot older now, it still has a very big subsect of, like, shonen-esque fans, I feel like. All the big shonen YouTubers used to review Attack on Titan, and I guess sort of do still sometimes, so their fan bases. Maybe it's just a very small minority. Anyone that like discusses this chapter on Reddit or YouTube or Twitter are in the very minority. Don't ever think that our opinions reflect anything, even in the Western fan base of Attack on Titan, let alone the much larger, much more important to Isayama likely Japanese fan base. Whenever I see like Japanese tweets and I translate them, they all seem to be like, oh no, the rumbling's happening, cry face or whatever. They all seem to get it. It just seems to be this weird Western fan base that doesn't seem to get it. I missed the fan base during the Marley arc. Why? When they were all shitting on the Marley arc because they didn't like it because they just wanted to see Eren? Don't let them fucking retroactively change history and act like they liked the Marley arc the whole time. Do you think Zeke's plan was the only way to stop the Titan cycle since as long as Eldians exist, the 9 Titans will... that unless Ymir is fully gone now. I don't know. I guess euthanasia is preferable to rumbling, but like I just assumed from the beginning that it was going to be a thing where they all come together or whatever. Isn't a big thematic point of the early flashbacks in the final arcs Paradis was too scared to try other options? Yeah, I guess. Like, Eren actively denied Zeke's option because he tried to protect Historia and things like that, so... And Eren isn't going to be this, like, massively practical, like, what do you call that? Like this utilitarian, like, I gotta save people. He's clearly, like, he has to have some sort of emotional drive behind it. And in my fucking Who is the Father video, I basically came to the conclusion that it was going to be like, oh, he's doing this all for Historia and his child, and he wants them to grow up in a better world. And he's actually just doing it for sort of selfish reasons, because everyone needs a selfish motivation to do the proper thing. It's like a human element that relates the characters to us. So I think, like, it's not going to be that Eren, like, he had to save him, and that's all he was focused on. Obviously, he had priorities with Historia, as he showed back in the Kiyomi meeting initially. Since they only had to find out about the outside world. Well, they head to Mali, right, to try and find a better solution, and Eren just doesn't go back with them. Or they were still in Mali or whatever, so they didn't really have time to come up with a final plan or have a vote or something. I guess Zackley had a plan to take the Attack Titan away from Eren or whatever. I forget what the specifics of that plan were, but, like, yeah, there were things going on. Yeah, the Japanese audience more so cares about the main characters and doesn't have a thing where they need to feel cool for liking the villain. Yes, of course. That's the one thing I always wonder about. What's the Japan attitude on the story? Glad to hear they aren't. Glad to hear they're against. Yes. All right, we got to the end of chat. For the YouTube audience, I guess you've just been on OBS for the last 5 minutes or so. But for the YouTube audience, we'll wrap up the video here. It's probably about an hour and a half long, maybe a little less, maybe an hour 10, an hour 20. I don't know, you can see it. You saw it when you clicked on the fucking thumbnail. Hopefully the thumbnail was good, and it made a lot of people click on this video. The last one got like 5k views. We're nearly subscribed to the fucking channel, especially if you made it this far in, which not a lot of people will have. We are nearly at 338, which is the big number where we surpassed what the old channel was before it got deleted in terms of subscribers. So we got to fucking get subscribers up there. I think we got 19 subscribers in one day. When I uploaded the last minute prediction. So hopefully it's about that same for this video, since it's way better than that last minute predictions video. Should make the thumbnail that Kiyomi Floch image. It'll be something like that. I'll think of something. So yeah, subscribing is good. We got a Patreon. This isn't Patreon worthy content, but we're doing, for the $1 and the $5 tier, we only got 2 tiers. All of it is bonus content. The $5 tier is 1 bonus video a month. The other is a $1 tier where you get a bunch of write-ups, like little mini scripts for videos that aren't going to be videos that are bonus exclusive to Patreon content. So far, we've reviewed the first 2 Berserk films, and we're working on the 3rd one right now. There'll be a lot of those, probably at least 10 a month, I think, of little mini write-ups. Maybe I'll do one about the chapter, if I have like an odd idea that doesn't really fit into a video or something. That's basically what those are for. They're about like 1,500 words each. But there you go, there's my fucking Patreon pitch. Follow me on Twitter, that's some fun shit. I've made a bunch of tweets you would have heard when the chapter very initially came out, though I do spoil the chapter nearly immediately on Twitter if you haven't seen it, and if you aren't reading it very initially. But check out the Twitter too. So I did all the shilling, which I never do at the end of these videos, which is good. But with that being said, support links in the description below. Thanks.